And tonight we're going to take you inside one of the most liberal executive mansions in America for an exclusive interview with California Governor Gavin Newsom. Now, no topic was off the table, no restrictions at all whatsoever. I did promise the governor that I would give him a chance to respond to each question without interruption. So, especially in the beginning of the interview, it is less debate-oriented.
Yes, they're in my house. Yeah, exactly. They did this. They conducted this interview at my $7 gazillion chateau.
It's a little more.
And it was while I was streaming, actually. My house is that big. I didn't even know they were there. I forgot when I actually allowed them in. Well, one of my 700 butlers on deck must have welcomed them inside.
Debate-oriented as the interview goes on. And as you might imagine, well, Governor Newsom and
I like that Sean Hannity got cooked so fucking hard. He had to preface this by being like, "Hey guys, we might come across like friendly, but like I promise you, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't like it one bit. And also, it is a debate. I promise. Please don't get mad at me."
I strongly disagree on pretty much everything. But to the governor's credit, he did sit down for an entire hour. He answered most of our questions. And by the way, that was something that the president of the United States, Joe Biden, is not even remotely capable of doing. So without further ado, here is part one of my interview with California's Democratic Governor, Gavin Newsom. All right, so I write you. This pick got a lot of pickup, I'm sure you saw as well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I want to do an interview.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do an interview. I want to make sure the audience understands up front. This is not going to be me. I want you to answer and give your views. I would say you represent probably about half the country, your views, and the other half represents mine. You agree? We're kind of divided.
Plus or minus, certainly divided. Yeah.
Yeah.
No question. I mean, we're polarized, we're traumatized. We clearly are in these, and we're in these echo chambers. I mean, let's be candid, Sean. I mean, your folks are watching you and getting a certain perspective, and my folks are watching other networks getting a certain perspective
as well.
We have
studies that show a lot of Democrats watch me.
Well, including me. So.
Yeah, they hate watch you, dumbass. Also, that's actually not wrong. Okay, that's actually not wrong. Time and time again, studies have shown that Democrats actually cover a broad set of values in their news consumption. Republicans, on the other hand, do not. 94% of the Republican audience gets their news from Fox News. The Democratic audience, however, people who report as liberal, they get their news from a litany of different content providers, usually 3 or more, including Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, and Fox News usually. Fox News, however, straight up, 94% of Republicans get their news from one place, and that is Fox News. How fucking crazy. Yeah.
So I'm here for
Hasan says you. To be fair, why the fuck is he talking like he knows? Hasan unaware. Hasan is modern day propaganda. Be aware, chat. Wait, what? Says you. I watch more Fox News than your racist uncle. What are you talking about? If anything, wait, what? I literally watch more Fox News than your dumbass cop dad. I watch more Fox News than your grandma Brenda, okay? I consume the most amount of Fox News. I'm quite literally watching Fox News right now. That's why it's always funny when people are like, Hasan just wants an echo chamber. He wants an echo chamber. No one addresses perspectives.
Reason to wit the point, though. I think we need more of that cross-pollination. We need more of these kind of conversations. And we need to not just, accuse each other of misleading the American people, but I think confront each other in the context of providing opportunities to address some of the facts that are often omitted in terms of the conversations and topics we choose to pick up.
So what I see is, I don't know how you reconcile some of these differences. Now, you either believe in secure borders and law and order, and people that want to come into our country have to do it legally. I'm the product of that.
Right.
Or there are people that want open borders. You believe in defund, dismantle, no bail laws like cities like in New York, where the show originates from, or you believe law and order, safety, security is a prerequisite for the pursuit of happiness. You want energy independence, or you don't want.
Yeah, when I end up defending Gavin Newsom in this interview, people are going to, of course, say, here goes Hasan again, defending his famous friends. That's right. Governor Gruesome Gavin Newsom wished me a happy birthday one time. We are best friends. Kaya going into town on a Tuesday? Yeah, this is Tuesday for Kaya, but so is every day. Sean Hannity's orange as fuck mega Trump coded. I feel like that's deliberate. I'm not even kidding. I think like now that Donald Trump is popping again, now that he's in like the public consciousness, I do feel like Sean Hannity probably is like making an attempt to look more orange.
Want any domestic energy production? I mean, how do you reconcile?
Well, I don't see those binaries at all. Quite the
You don't
contrary.
see it at all?
No, I don't. I mean, I want border security. Democrats want border security. We also want
But
comprehensive.
you don't want any walls.
I want comprehensive immigration reform. I want to actually address the issue more comprehensively, just like Ronald Reagan did in 1989. Just like, and with respect, Sean, you promoted yourself with the Gang of Eight and bipartisan legislation that got 68 votes in the Senate, only to die in the House, that could fundamentally address this issue, which is the issue. So I don't see those.
But I always
binaries.
had as my position, build the wall first. You're against building any wall.
I know. I have no problem with the 650 plus miles we have on border walls. I come from a state with the largest, I mean, San Ysidro is the largest land port in the Western Hemisphere. I don't need to be educated on the issue of the border or issues of immigration policy. One thing.
Medi-Cal for illegals is $2.7 billion to the state.
And how many billions are we spending for uncompensated care? People end up in the emergency.
Can I ask you?
On the back end, wasting taxpayer money.
Why is it wrong to just demand, if you want to come to this country, obey our laws, respect our borders, respect our sovereignty, apply, come in, and we can expedite the application process.
It's the latter part. Now you're having a conversation. This is where I think the vast majority of Americans.
That's why I'm here.
Well, that's the point.
I'm here to
And that
bring us together.
And that was the point of the comprehensive reform. Where's Congress? I mean, look, you can criticize Biden all the time. Biden's border crisis. I watch 24/7 surround sound anger machine around that. I get it.
Wait a minute. In 3 years,
I get it.
he will allow over 7.5 million people illegally into this country. Right. You have to see there's something wrong with that.
No, I do. And I see there's something right with what he's done post Title 42, a 70% reduction, taking a lot of the core tenets.
That's wild that Gavin Newsom is taking like an anti-immigration stance. Brother, you are literally the motherfucking governor of California. The reason why you, as a Democrat, can be the motherfucking governor of California when not that long ago this was impossible is quite literally because of immigration. Okay? I know Republicans love saying that as like, oh, they're bringing in undocumented illegals or whatever. These aren't undocumented illegal immigrants that are voting. Clearly, obviously, that's not the case. That doesn't work that way. But it certainly is migration patterns, but also beyond that, like children of undocumented immigrants that are born on U.S. soil and are American citizens that have greatly shifted the demographics of the state of California and like have voted for Democrats year over year. And that's the reason why we don't have Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan's California no longer. What the fuck are you saying? Oh man, he's doing a lot wrong, but he's doing some right. Like, what the fuck are you mean? Just don't even address that point. Be like, listen, this is a nation built by immigrants. Okay, shut the fuck up. Like, how many generations ago did your parents come here? Fuckhead is what you should say to Sean Hannity. Ridiculous. That's crazy. Newsom pandering the Fox audience, let him cook a little. No, I don't like that. That's bullshit. Pandering does not mean completely capitulating to like a false premise created by the likes of Sean Hannity. That's what he's doing there. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. There's a better way to communicate that message. To be like, this is the wealthiest nation on the motherfucking planet, okay? Real reason why immigration is a problem is not necessarily because immigrants are coming in to steal your fucking jobs. The real reason why immigration is a problem is because Republicans deliberately make a two-tiered labor structure and want to utilize immigrants as a permanent underclass. Yeah, speaking to the void, Hasan. Yeah, I know. I'm totally speaking into the void with 40,000 other people inside of that void. I would love to speak into the void further with 40,000 people every day. I don't understand why XQC's fans come in here and act like they just completely forgot the concept of Twitch streaming. It's like, bro, you listen to XQC all day. You know how this shit works. You know what I mean? You know that at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You know that you're going to see those ads because you don't have enough money because you couldn't steal your mommy's credit card. And you probably used your Twitch Prime on XQC. So you're going to see an ad right now, unless you get lucky and get gifted a sub. Okay? Because at the top of the hour, there's a 3-minute ad break. You know how this works. Speed Racer, thank you for the 5 gifted subs, allowing 5 people to no longer see those ads at the top of the hour. Here's the 3-minute ad break now, by the way.
That the previous administration used. He's now being sued by the left, not just being applauded, certainly by the right. That said, here's what's missing. The conversation you just suggested we should be having around dealing with asylum seekers and backlogs and updating and modernizing our visas and addressing a pathway that Ronald Reagan himself acknowledged.
Let me ask you if
and
you
I think
support
those
this.
things are missing.
Okay, okay, that's good. He saying like these people should not be coming here illegally. These people should be coming here legally and welcomed, just like Ronald Reagan, which is true. No, don't say just like Reagan libers. That's actually a good take. That's actually a good way to restructure the narrative. He can literally say that. He's like, hey, former California governors unite on the value of bringing some level of amnesty to this country, which many Americans support, which is a great way to fucking reframe that. That's true. It's a stellar take. It's a really good take.
Should we have background checks?
Yes.
Should, in the middle of a pandemic, health checks?
We did.
Should we have means testing so the people that enter this country are not going to be a financial burden on the American people?
We prioritize already with certain, we prioritize with STEM.
That's another good way to reframe it. He said, like, Sean Hannity is, again, vice signaling, where he's saying, like, we have to make sure that the people that come into this country are not a burden. Like, fuck you, okay? Your fucking inbred parents coming from whatever Angloid nation that they fucking swam over here were also burdens in the same way that anyone else can be a burden. Suck my dick, okay? What a disgusting little gremlin he is for saying such a profoundly evil thing, okay? Oh, they're not going to be a burden on society. Like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck yourself, okay? Jesus Christ. Anyway, having said that, this is a great way to reframe it, where you say, hey, we already prioritize certain kinds of immigration because we want certain kinds of immigration as we see it as like a massive benefit to our economy that we rely on.
We prioritize with visas already. We prioritize.
Doesn't Canada do means testing in that manner? Every country does it. I don't like it regardless, though. Okay, I don't like it.
A free college education and $2.7 billion of taxpayer dollars in California to Medi-Cal. And that's for illegal immigrants only.
No, and we're spending the money already. I know everybody on the right can't stand sanctuary policy. I understand that. Rudy Giuliani, by the way, Trump's old attorney, was a huge proponent of sanctuary policy.
I didn't know that.
Actually said it keeps you healthier, safer, and more educated. Actually made those arguments when he was governor.
Like, everybody always talks about like immigration bad, and it's like, yeah, countries that have insane immigration checks look like Japan. And like, as much as I love Japan, they're not doing great. They're not doing great. Their nation is so fucking old, dude. They're cooked. Their economy is cooled as a consequence of that. Okay? It's not good. It's not good at all. So it's so bad, as a matter of fact, that like you have motherfuckers at Harvard being like, we should just mass euthanize old people. Old people should just choose to commit suicide for the betterment of society. Okay? That's what happens when your country has no immigration. Like, very little immigration. "20 replies to my chat. I own this chat." Dude, you're fucking awesome. Prepare him to stop the vid and go on a 5-minute speech. Hasan has responded to me 3x in 10 minutes. I triggered Hasan Omegalol. Brother, I had already forgotten. I don't know which gray name you are, but I'm gonna say something here for you, okay? Saying like objectively idiotic statements and then having every single person go, dude, you're so stupid, is not actually a good thing for you. You've just only proven how worthless you see yourself. I want you to believe in yourself. I want you to feel better about yourself. The reason why I'm taking, no, don't ban him. No. It's a pet. We're petting him. Am I mad? Do I seem mad? I'm not mad at all. We're going to keep this one as a pet. Okay? Because he hasn't really said anything. He hasn't really said anything like objectively racist or anything. So I don't think like derailers always have to get clapped. Okay? Your attention has given him purpose in life. I know. It's sad. But hey, listen. Edit. He's doing a Reddit move. Bat chest. Edit. Thanks for the gold kind stranger. Edit 2. Wow. All these awards. Thank you. Edit 3. Just keep coming. Thank you for everyone for the support. It's even worse than that because he gets nothing. Okay? He gets nothing out of this. He's, okay, I'm out. See ya. Talk into the void. The irony here is that he would be talking into the void if I didn't actually give him an opportunity to be seen by everyone here who gifted him a sub. We always give the pets a sub. Reddit's down today, so motherfucker had to come in here and screech. And for the record, for those of you who think he's left, he's still here. He's just not going to chat. But he's still in here. With the random opportunity that he might get another person to at him, and you know, with the hopes that people will like know that he's a real human being. But yes, ultimately he got shamed into not chatting and sitting there patiently while he goes, "Oh, I left the stream." Anyway, let's continue.
Rather, mayor of New York. It's the cards that are dealt in the app.
Are you serious, man? I was banned for disagreeing with you on blue balls. Well, it seems like you're unbanned, so how about you shut the fuck up? And secondly, yes, you probably disagree with me and claim that it wasn't a real thing and I showed you like actual doctors saying it was a real thing, and then you still kept saying it's not a real thing. So shut the fuck up.
Absence of comprehensive reform. I'm all for comprehensive reform. I'm for background checks. I'm for addressing border security in all its forms and manifestations, not just walls. I'm addressing a legal pathway. I'm actually wanting to address all these issues, but I want to do it in a rational way and not just bastardize the conversation as exclusively about the border.
Okay, here's my controversial take. I think this kind of like I'm actually trying to have a normal conversation here about these kinds of issues. At this day and age, with the way that the modern Republican Party operates, is I think foolhardy. I don't think anyone looks at something like this. I don't think anybody looks at Gavin Newsom saying this and goes, you know what? I will listen to him. I will actually hear him out. You know what I mean? Like liberals will think it's sick. But liberals already think Gavin Newsom is cool. Like he's fucking the governor of California, you know? See what I mean? Trump is slated to speak in 11 minutes. He's always going to be late, but we'll watch it. They think that they are getting through to independents. I don't think I don't think it works that way. I don't think a lot of independents are watching Fox News and a debate between Sean Hannity and Gavin Newsom. I mean, they might be. That actually might be a decent angle. Do independents still exist? Yes. America's very fucking stupid. So yes, independents do still technically exist. Can't believe you asked if independence still exists in America. Do you know how fucking stupid Americans are? This is a sea of contradictions, my friend. It's a sea of contradictions. American politics is about people who think that the government is operated by... The American politics is for people who think the government's operated by pedophilic vampires who fucking say that they hate big government, but they also simultaneously hate big corporations. that are, anti-pharmaceutical lobbying, but only for vaccines. You know what I mean? That turn around and say, no, we have to pay extra for all of our medication because we're subsidizing the rest of the world. How can you have all of those thoughts independently in your brain, and how they just like not, contradict one another in your mind? I don't know, but there are millions of people like that.
Okay, I have here in my pile of stuff the exact federal law that prohibits. Now, there are two court decisions that you might be able to cite. One is the Trump lawsuit. That was in the Ninth Circuit. The other is some wording and one opinion that Justice Scalia gave some years back. But it is unambiguous when you read the 18 U.S. Code as it relates to entering the country that you've got to do so legally. By characterizing the state as sanctuary, aren't you thereby violating federal law, the laws that are on the books, and that our own Constitution states very unequivocally that, in fact, you should be following?
These sanctuary policies have been on the books for decades. Cities, Democratic cities, Republican-led cities in the past, Democratic states, clearly, more modern conception around dealing with reality, the cards that are dealt. Right. You want people that are victims of crime to come forward and report those crimes. That's the purpose of sanctuary. You want a kid to be educated that's here regardless of how they got here. You want that kid educated. You want to take care of someone that's in an emergency and not have them concerned that they're...
And before it became a highly politicized talking point, sanctuary cities used to be advocated for by law enforcement agencies, as a matter of fact. That's right. Law enforcement literally was like, oh, we love sanctuary cities because then we actually get to communicate with the immigrant population that is not documented when there are crimes happening in said population. That was the original point for why sanctuary cities existed. Because if you don't have a sanctuary city, then nobody fucking talks to the cops when like something illegal happens, because they're afraid that INS, this is like, of course, predates ICE, because like back then when sanctuary cities were first being built, they literally like law enforcement would openly tell people that they were not going to communicate with INS in an instance where there is like some crime happening in an undocumented community where, you know, they will treat you like a citizen.
They're going to be deported by a nurse. The point is you deal with reality. But look, I stipulate, I'm happy to get rid of those protections by doing the hard work of actually coming together as a nation across our differences and support comprehensive reform and modernize our asylum system and modernize our immigration system. This issue will only get worse. It's not just a border issue, is the point.
7.5 million people under Joe Biden will illegally enter this country in 3 years of his presidency. Yep. To me, that's unconscionable. That's unfair to the American people. That's unfair to the states, including your state. That's unfair to border states like Texas.
I mean, he could just be like, dude, California's doing great. Fuck you mean? California is a fucking powerhouse in and of itself. It literally gears other states. Like California's surplus is saving red states that your audience members live in. California is like paying for your audience members' social safety net. Shut the fuck up.
But here's where I want to just pause a second and ask you a really serious question. I don't think Joe Biden is mentally, physically capable of being the president of the United States. Hang on. I suspect if I took your phone and I took a look at it, not that I believe in privacy, I would never do that. I would bet on a daily basis that there are people urging you to run for president and primary him. Am I wrong in my assumption?
Well, my phone's been lighting up how well he did with the UK Prime Minister. My phone lit up and how he
That's a nice duck.
McCarthy on the debt ceiling.
Your phone light up?
My phone lights up with Republican friends saying, you know what? Despite all of the rhetoric, these bipartisan bills he keeps passing on infrastructure and the chip.
Oh, God, this is so whack. Yeah, dude, I'm sure your phone is lighting up with that. No, your phone is lighting up with the wives of every single person texting you titty pics, okay? That's the honest answer. My phone's been lit up, Sean. My phone's been lighting up with your wife texting me nudies all night, every night. All right, baby. That's what it's lighting. That's what's lighting up his phone. It's Kimberly Guilfoyle being like, I miss us. Sending fucking photos of them together, sitting on that fucking carpet, looking at the camera all sensually. Okay? She's like, yeah, Donald Trump, DJT Jr. doesn't fuck me like you used to, you animal. Okay? That's what his phone's lit up with. Everything I said is real, by the way. Like, he used to date Kimberly Guilfoyle.
And Science Act, the bipartisan work.
Bro, he literally fucks wives so much that there was a campaign ad against him. Were they married? Oh, I thought they were dating. I forgot that they were married. Wasn't there a fucking campaign ad that was like, I'm voting for Larry Elder because Gavin Newsom fucked my wife? Hold on. It was something like that. What was it? God damn it. Dude. God, I wonder if I can find it. Oh, yeah. The campaign ad was like, Gavin looks like he's the jock who'd steal your girlfriend in high school. Insane photo shoot. You mean sane photo shoot. The most sane. Also, Gavin Newsom, if you look up like Gavin Newsom wife scandal or whatever, you will find that he has had sex with so many people's wives, okay? I didn't know that this photo shoot also happened at your house. Yes. This is in another room. I totally forgot. Kimberly Guilfoyle used to look so normal and nice. Crazy. Anyway, let's get back to it. This is irrelevant.
He did on gun legislation reform and around the debt ceiling. Make me feel maybe he's done a little bit better job than some.
But that wasn't my question.
Shit out in a little bit.
Does your phone light up with Gavin? You need to get in this primary. He's not able to run. He's not up to the job.
Look, everybody has their quiet chatter, and everybody's out there rooting for America. I'm rooting for our president, and I have great confidence in his leadership.
I don't want him to fail.
He's been able to accomplish.
I think his policies are failing.
CHIPS Act, Science Act. Do you oppose that?
I will tell you on every measure, from the economy, inflation, borders, energy, national security.
Gavin has done good media training. He hits him with like 2 direct acts that have bipartisan support that actually look really well because they're like, especially the CHIPS Act is like the anti-China act, right? And he has no retort. So now he has to go, oh, well, it's bad on the border. Oh, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Security, he's missing in action.
Let's talk about them in order. Let's
hang on.
Wait, but I want to challenge the premise. You said the economy, 13.1 million jobs he's created. More.
These are post-COVID jobs. Okay. You know that. Well, I mean, that's an artificial number.
No. Then let me stipulate this as an opportunity to engage civilly on this.
Okay.
Fair point. Your president, Donald Trump, lost 2.6 million jobs during his 4 years. We've created 13.1 million. Fine, you can maintain a COVID frame. How about the fact that Joe Biden's created more jobs, 6 times more jobs than the previous 3 Republican presidents combined?
Are you going to tell me
Sean,
that the average family, where we have 2/3 of Americans now living paycheck to paycheck,
it was 70% under Trump? That was 70%.
Sean Hannity saying those job creation numbers are post-COVID and it's irrelevant is so funny because, like, there is truth to what he's saying. But also, ask Sean Hannity about the gas prices, okay, under Donald Trump, and he will completely forget COVID ever existed. He's the #1 guy who's like, oh, dude, gas prices under Trump, it was $1 a barrel. Fucking gangbusters over here. It was awesome. It's like, why was it like that, Sean? Why? What's going on with inflation?
It was
Donald Trump,
70% under Donald Trump. Living
Pre-COVID,
paycheck
we had
to
the
paycheck.
lowest unemployment rate for every demographic.
We have the lowest black unemployment in history, and you and I are living with the lowest unemployment in our lifetime, Sean. You can't make that up.
Demographic.
I love Sean Hannity having to like actually hit Gavin Newsom from the left. Because like the only counter to this is those job numbers are bullshit. They were bullshit under fucking Trump and they're bullshit under Biden. It doesn't matter. It's about the quality of jobs. And anyone who's honest about this, which by the way, unfortunately, no one in the media or in politics is honest about it, would fucking know that. Okay? Same tweet. True. On our streams, no. And they don't account for people who stop looking for jobs. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. What matters is how much people are suffering, especially on the lower rungs, because those people are still voters. Well, not necessarily, but
Traffic and the economy was
Black unemployment's record low under Joe Biden.
Okay. We had historic low after historic low under Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. I mean, but he's
what I don't want to have
Trump's
happen.
clock, Biden, in terms of the progress in job creation. Look at what he's done on
so
jobs.
What would you grade Joe Biden's presidency? Because you're at odds with the American people and the Democratic Party.
I'm just dealing with the facts.
Oh, you found it.
What
You found it. This was the fucking greatest selfie.
Food. You were to schools while your kids went to private school. Even now you live by different rules. You closed tiny coffee shop friend, then went on to the food. You were to schools while your kids went to private school.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind, dude. Twitter videos are so garbage, dude. What are they using all the bandwidth on one Tucker Carlson video? Is that what's going on? I fucking hate it so much. It's making me so angry. Oh my God, I fucking hate Elon Musk. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I mean, we're not watching it. We're not watching it.
What is your grade for
I'm going to go back.
Fuck.
Let's talk. You brought up six topics.
You got to answer some questions.
I'm answering the ones in order. You brought up the economy. On the economy, let's talk about the economy.
You want to give him an A?
Inflation. Stubborn around the globe. Let's talk about inflation. It's down 40% since last summer, 10 months in a row, 4.9%. He was just with the UK Prime Minister at 6.9%. Is that because of Biden's
I think
Fed
Biden's
policy?
Economic and energy policies
Directly impacted the UK's inflation?
No, I am
Or the
telling
fact that France is 5.5% or Germany's at 6.1%? On inflation, we're moving in the right direction. On the issue of the border security,
he
after
inherited 1.4% inflation. It went up to a 40-year high after 40-year high.
Globally, because you just brought up, you were making an excuse for Trump's dismal jobs record related to COVID.
It wasn't a
but you
dismal
won't acknowledge
jobs record.
COVID's relationship to inflation globally. And by the way, COVID and immigration impacting our inflation.
Let me stop you. All right, so I would assume you're going to give Biden an A. Here's the problem that Joe Biden has. You're arguing, you're fighting, you're battling, you're articulate. We could sit here for 3 hours, probably have a beer or two in the middle of this, and you can keep going. Here's the problem. Your president can't have this conversation. He's not capable of it. Now my question is a serious one.
All right.
Okay, is Joe Biden up to the job of being president?
Dude, Sean has one speed, dude. It's glaze mode. He like, even when he's trying to rip him, he's like doing glaze mode, dude. He's just like, look. I feel like, that's not even a point that he just made. He just said like, you're sexy, you're hot. I would love to have a beer with you. Please fuck my wife. That's what he said.
And as a little reminder, take a look at your president in the monitor.
And there's an awful lot of stories that are told, but probably a bunch apocryphal about the former prime minister. Like you take baths up that, anyway.
Wandering around at 3 in the morning. Yeah, Winston Churchill.
By the way, I met with, who are those guys that fly over shortly? You heard of them, haven't you? And the cheer for we cheer for Muslim athletes like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I know him, and I still mispronounce his name. So I'm trying to think, where was the last place I was? It's hard to keep track. I mean, yeah, you're right, Ireland. That's where it was. EIGH%. He said, you're too much like that guy who led the revolution, instead of the guy who was the prime minister. He said, you got to be less like the military guy. They shot him. God bless you all. Let's go lick the world. Let's get it done.
And then you got Joe Biden who's having a hard time standing up. Take a look at that one. Standing up. Take a look at that one. I want you to tell me that you think he is cognitively strong enough to lead this country against China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and a new axis of evil, and that he's the guy. He cannot articulate the economy the way you just did.
Yeah, but I don't think he's capable. I know he's capable. I see results. I've seen a masterclass in results the last few years. You don't see the results on the CHIPS Act. You don't see the results on the infrastructure. You had Infrastructure Week every week for 4 years.
CHIPS Act, we're still importing them all from Taiwan, which is about to be taken over by China.
We had $4 billion proof point just here in California with Applied Materials, bringing semiconductor investment back here in the state of California. My point being,
we're going to talk about
real results, but bipartisan results, real results. Jobs programs. The IRA, I know you don't like it. I mean, hundreds of billions of dollars in green energy investment, mostly in red states. You're the biggest beneficiary of the IRA.
He raised taxes on oil, gas, coal, pensions, and, quote, taxes corporations. Corporations don't pay taxes. They pass the cost on to consumers. That's all they do. You know that.
On the issue of energy independence, I think it was your second of the list of items.
Do you think he's cognitively strong enough to be president?
I have conversations with him all the time, yes. And I'll tell you what.
You do?
I'm dead serious about that. I've talked to him when he's been overseas. I've been in Air Force One, Marine One. I've been in the limo with him. I've spent time with him privately.
Okay, but you never answered
publicly.
my question directly. How many times does your phone ping a day people saying you need to get in this race because they agree with me that he's not up to the job?
That's such a silly line of attack. Like, oh, people want you to run. Who gives a fuck? Like, I mean, I guess it looks good for his audience, right? Like, he's saying you're better. He's pitting him against Biden and, you know, trying to fucking say, like, you'd be better. I guess it's just a way to attack Biden while also glazing up Gavin. But, like, you already established it. He's just going to keep defending Biden. You know what I mean?
It's stupid. I
That's
see
a fair question.
I see where you're going with that.
I'm
Sean.
asking.
No, and I'm not answering.
Under any circumstances would you get in this primary?
No.
None.
I really am proud. I think he's a man of decency and character. I'm really proud of the president. I'm proud of what he's accomplished.
Is he strong enough to be president? That's I'm
strong enough.
talking
Look
about
what he just did to McCarthy. He ran
Did to
circles.
McCarthy.
Look at the vote card.
I didn't
Kevin
like the
just
vote. I wouldn't have voted for it.
Exactly. Kevin got played by the president of the United States. I'm for results. I'm for results.
I don't think the American people benefit. I like the plan that would have saved $4.8 trillion. All right.
Yeah.
Now, so we're at a point, I think you are far more articulate, far more versed, far more energetic. I have this theory that people are going to come calling because I don't think in your party they think he's the guy. No. Just my thought. Now, I've got a bunch
What do you
of...
have?
Well, look, I don't want to make this an argument. I want you to explain. Because my argument to you is conservative policies work. Okay. You know, I don't care if it's Ronald Reagan. I don't care if it's Newt Gingrich's contract. I don't care if it's Donald Trump's 4 years as president. Got it. I believe his policies work. Peace through strength work, building up our military, building a wall, enforcing law and order, energy independence, which Biden gave up, which he didn't bring up.
Which I'm happy to directly.
Let me show you a list of corporate headquarters that are leaving your state in well,
no, let's bring it on. I look forward to having this conversation.
There you go.
I'm well aware.
Corporate headquarters, they're leaving. Look at San Francisco in particular. They're closing down because they can't keep their product in the store because they're getting robbed. I got another one for you. Seasonally adjusted business applications. You always bring up Florida. Yep. I compared you to Florida. I think you have a higher population, if I'm not mistaken.
A significantly higher population.
Why are they doing better in business formulation?
Well, we'll have to take a look at that in more detail.
Take a look.
Yeah, dude, Florida's doing so much better, dude.
I'm happy that we're looking forward. How many more of these you have? Let's go.
About 8.
Bring them on.
Bring them all on.
Bring them all on. Let's have this conversation.
How would you attack that point Hannity made? Taxes don't impact corporations as they put the cost on consumers. First, what do you mean? How would I attack that? Then I'd be like, okay, well then let's tax them. Good. And then let the free market actually force them into submission, because the reality is they just want to have the highest profit margins possible, and their profit margins have gone out of control. Okay. In the age of corporate consolidation, companies are no longer charging you what they can get away with or what actually is enough to make ends meet with a nifty little profit at the top. They're charging you with whatever like they can get away with because the government's not doing anything about it.
Okay, let me ask you. This is a tough question for you.
I don't think it will be. Well, let's find out.
All right. So you're the first governor in history that has
Real talk,
had a
Biden or
net
Newsom?
migration
Newsom for sure.
out of the Golden State. Go west, young man.
Yep.
I lived here by the way, I lived here 5 years.
Horace Greeley.
I was the poorest guy in Santa Barbara at the time in the early 80s. If you look at, I want you to really look at this and explain for the years 2021 and 2022 why Florida is taking in nearly 1,000 people a day and you're losing 800 people a day. Right. They're leaving. Tell me why they're leaving your state.
So we'll stop at 3, or you want to do the whole?
No. We'll just answer one at a time.
18 states had declines in population. California's was 0.3%. You didn't bring up any of the red states that had decline in populations. It's an interesting fact, and I don't see it on here. An interesting omitted fact.
What's that?
Per capita, more Floridians moved to California than Californians moving to Florida. That, I don't imagine, is in one of your 8 slides. Let me take another.
Okay, I didn't know that. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. What the fuck? It's probably college? Is that what it is? God damn. My man's giving me talking points now.
Stab at this. In 2021, California had 7.8% of GDP growth in this country, one of the fastest growing economies anywhere on planet Earth. This state continues to be the tentpole of the American economy, 25.6% of.
You want to know why, by the way? A big chunk of that is because it has a big part of why California is like not in the red or doing decently well is because there are a lot of rich people and the taxes are high. It's the 13%. It literally is. It's like the idea that, oh, dude, rich people are always fucking leaving. Rich people are always fucking leaving California. It's like, no, not really. No, people definitely want to fucking stay here. And a lot of people are perfectly fine. I know my shirt pattern is fucking up the camera. Now that I mentioned it, every neurodivergent chatter is going to lose their fucking minds. Thank you, chatters, that kept saying it over and over again. What do you want me to do, man? What do you want me to do? It's just a normal pattern. It just looks weird on camera, okay? Fuck. And now no one can unsee it. Oh, my God. This is why California budgets are so swingy, because it relies on rich people? Yes. And rich people demonstrably choose to fucking stay in California. Yeah, Elon Musk or some of the people here and there might choose to leave. But ultimately, a lot of people do stay, and that's precisely why there was a fucking $80 billion surplus.
All American jobs came from this state in April. In the last 2 fiscal years, we enjoyed $177.7 billion in operating surpluses. We're on our way to be the 4th largest economy, eat your heart out, Germany, in the world. Number 1 in R&D, venture capital, more scientists, researchers, more Nobel laureates, more patents emanating out of this state than any other state in America. With all due respect, Florida doesn't even come close. Eat your heart out, Texas. California continues to be the dominant economic engine for the American public.
I promised you before this interview I would let you give full answers. That's a full answer.
Thank you.
Okay. Now I'm going to challenge it.
He's like, okay, I'm fucked.
Good.
And the challenge is is this is the first time in the history of the state that you've lost population.
Yes.
The first time.
Correct.
Now, I'm going to give you another sheet here. And this is about income tax.
Right.
Your state income tax.
I love where he's like, dog, the state is doing better than ever before. And he's like, but sometimes people are leaving. Like, okay, well, here are the real issues, okay? Are you ready? I'm sure Sean Hannity will address them here or has, and I missed it. Fucking housing affordability, and homelessness is a consequence of that. He can't hit the crime narrative because Gavin has the numbers for that. He could fucking eviscerate Sean on the crime shit. But it's actually the only problem that Gavin Newsom has yet to solve and will not solve. I mean, there's plenty of other problems too, but like, it's the only problem standing between him and actually running for president. Okay? That's it. But he's not going to be able to address that because the only way to address the homelessness problem is by tackling the housing market. My man, come on. God, you fucking Gimbies are so ridiculous. Oh, the ADU thing is a pretty big step, but yes, it's not solved. That's crazy. No, the ADU thing is not a pretty big step. Jesus Christ. I'm on board with fucking additional housing. That's a ridiculous fucking assessment, dude. Wow, dude. Yeah, an auxiliary dwelling unit that you build on top of your fucking garage is truly going to put a dent in California's housing crisis. Come on, dude. Yeah, let's turn every homeowner into a landlord. Oh, the ADU thing in Seattle just made 1,000 square foot houses cost $800K. It doesn't work. Yeah.
Is 13.3% at the highest number. I also did more digging. The top 1% of Californians pay 50% of that total income tax bill.
Yeah.
Fully half.
Roughly. Yeah.
That's redistribution of wealth, isn't it?
Well, it's progressive tax
All right.
policy.
Now, look at yours, 13.3. What is Florida? What does that say? It says zero.
Well, it's factually untrue. It's not zero. They
have zero state income
top
tax.
the top 1% pay. Look, here you're promoting. Sean,
is that a lie?
No. Here's what you're promoting. You're promoting regressive tax policy. We don't believe in regressive tax policy. You're promoting one component of entire tax system, the 1%. With all due respect, you and I may pay the 1%. The vast majority of people watching don't. You pay more taxes in states like Texas for the middle class than you do in states like California.
Right now,
hold on, no, this is important.
We have too many
The American people don't know this. We have the highest tax rate for the 1%, but middle class families actually pay less than the majority of states in America in California. The question is, who are you for?
He's right. This is also true. But also, in the United States of America, like, we really get nothing in return for our taxes. So it's kind of a foolhardy endeavor to defend taxation in this goddamn country when the government doesn't really make your money work in ways that you can see. Kind of doing a great job. He is doing a great job. Is it a housing crisis or a population crisis? Wait, what? What? Is it a housing crisis or a population crisis? How long until California tells Florida to take their poors? We need California to focus on being the jewel of the world so we can dunk on China. Dude, just ship your poors to Colorado. I have plenty of work for them. I need California to invent a time machine, okay? That is the most insane sequence of words that I've ever heard in my entire life. What do you mean ship your poors? There is no population crisis. What do you mean? California is fucking massive. There is no population crisis in California. There is a housing crisis in California. Okay? And part of that is because there's plenty of housing that is vacant. Okay? There's 56,000 vacant homes in the state of California. So that's number one. And number two, we have no affordable housing in the fucking state, or especially in high population areas in the state. We need government social housing, government backed, government supported, government paid for, public housing. Okay? This will normalize the housing prices because it opens up a shit ton of inventory. Okay? It will lower the prices of pre-existing inventory, and it will make it so that people are not on the verge of homelessness. So you eliminate all of the new people entering the homelessness stage of their lives, while simultaneously creating permanent shelter for the homeless people that exist on the streets. Also, for people saying Colorado or any other state, what is happening in California is happening all around the country. Okay? It's happening all around the country. You cannot escape how fucking shitty the housing market is. Look at Texas. Look at Austin. Anywhere where there is development, anywhere where people are actually moving into that state, there is always going to be an issue with supply and demand, because the people who are doing the real estate development and the people who own the houses that already exist in the state want to artificially keep the supply low. Social housing is the only sane measure to fight real estate value inflation. All other mechanisms where they deregulated the open housing development to private enterprise, e.g. Vancouver, Atlanta, Austin, increased supply, but the prices continued to only increase. Exactly. That's it. That's it. California's major problems are, especially in Los Angeles, no adequate public transit and no adequate fucking affordable housing. Those are the two things. If Gavin Newsom does anything on either of these problems, he will unwind a sequence of events. He will basically unwind like the majority of California's issues slowly but surely, and will be able to tackle some of the biggest problems and then become president. But he will not do that because the housing, the homeowners associations and the real estate developers are far too powerful for any person to actually combat, let alone someone who was put into that position of power exclusively not to combat those people. Fox News' solution to the homelessness problem is to slowly kill them, which is crazy.
Midfield. Gavin's now at maybe midfield, but he has to understand homelessness isn't about lack of affordable housing. It's about...
Yeah, no, totally. That's how you know I'm right. Okay? I only needed to see that part. If Jesse Waters is saying homelessness is not about lack of affordable housing, that's how you know it's absolutely about that. This man has never been right on any issue, okay? Bro, it's in the fucking name. Like, it's in the name. Homelessness means you are devoid of a home. You don't have shelter. Like, if you had a magic wand, okay? If you had a fucking magic wand with unlimited funds, unlimited resources, you can do whatever you want, and you wanted to eradicate homelessness, would you, A, use the wand on the homeless people themselves, or B, use the wand to make free houses for everybody, including the homeless people, including everyone else? Okay? What would you do? Jesse Waters would, Thanos snap the homeless people out of existence.
Drug addicts that want to wander around and live in tents on the sidewalk. And so you can't coddle antisocial behavior. You can't subsidize antisocial behavior. You have to stigmatize it. You can't celebrate people with purple hair, with nose rings.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. We celebrated homeless people too much. That's why there's more of them. Like, who's celebrating homeless people, dude? What the fuck? This man has never, I feel like he's never talked to a California liberal, okay? Talk to a rich California liberal, they will tell you very quickly they want to murder every homeless person, and maybe even some that look homeless but aren't homeless, okay? Like, nobody's coddling homeless people, man. They're literally fucking living on the side of the street. Like, what kind of psychotic universe has he cultivated in his mind?
4 kids with 4 different men who are dressed like trash and make them out to be some sort of cutting-edge heroes. You have to call them what they are. These are people that have failed in life, and they're on their deathbed. And if we're not honest about it, we're never going to fix this problem.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the problem. That people are not like taking matters in their own hands and killing homeless people. That's the issue. Yeah. It's so psychotic to say, to make this insane assertion that like the reason why homelessness exists is not because of homes, but instead because we're coddling homeless people. No, nobody's coddling homeless people. Also, I love that these guys claim that they're fucking Christians when they're like, "Oh yeah, that's the principle from Jesus Christ himself." You know what I mean? That's what he would have done. He would have killed the homeless with his laser beams.
So who are you fighting for?
I am for. I'm just wondering because I have homes in Florida.
Yeah.
And
you pay a lot of property tax there. Double what you pay in California. I would think twice about that.
Except if you add the millionaire property tax that you just put in LA County.
Well, that's a transfer tax, and we didn't do that. That was done locally.
Transfer tax is like $500,000.
I don't know if you can even get house insurance down.
So you're telling me the loss of
Dude, yeah. Wait, first of all, hey, that's right. Guess what? Guess what, Sean? First of all, that is literally a tax for homes over the value of $5 million. You're talking about houses that cost more than $5 million. Okay? $5 million. I live in a chateau. I live in a fucking mega mansion. Okay? As far as everybody knows. This mega mansion cost $2.75 million. I got canceled for it, got doxxed for it. People were fucking losing their minds, acting like I was living in a goddamn chateau. And it is a very expensive house. It's cheap by Los Angeles standards for, you know, how sizable it is. But it's still, like, we're talking about a house that is $5 million with an additional 5% tax on it, which people voted on. Okay? We voted for it. Why are you mad? This was a ballot measure. You're literally upset that people in Los Angeles, not a California-wide thing at all, people in Los Angeles County voted democratically on a ballot measure that adds a 5% tax on the sale or transfer of a $5 million plus property. Okay? That is fucking insane that he's upset at that. You're just mad at the people in Los Angeles County. Now, Gavin could have said that. He didn't, but he said something very funny, and which is true, by the way. He said, well, how about you fucking get a home insured in the state of Florida? Oh, wait, you can't, because Florida is a hellish nightmare. Which is true. There is a gigantic insurance problem in the state of Florida. Okay? There is a gigantic insurance problem in the state of Florida because insurers keep going bankrupt because Florida is constantly either underwater or like sinkholes are opening up everywhere. Okay? So they can't deal with it. So no one is insuring homes in Florida where, or the home insurance companies need additional insurance for their companies.
I'm just wondering because I have homes in Florida.
Yeah.
And
you pay a lot of property tax there. Double what you pay in California. I would think twice about that.
Except if you add the millionaire property tax that you just put in LA County.
Well, that's a transfer tax, and we didn't do that. That was done locally.
Transfer tax is like $500,000.
I don't know if you can even get house insurance down.
So you're telling me the loss of net population.
You see, he flubbed there. He should have been like, first of all, motherfucker's like, oh, I own multiple houses in Florida. It's like, suck my dick, dude. Do you really think you're... God, his fucking fans, people who agree with him, come into my chat every day and yell at me about how rich I am. And it makes me want to fucking kiss myself, okay? It's like, you're so stupid, dude. You're so fucking stupid. He literally just said, I own multiple houses in Florida. Sean Hannity, the everyman, dude. You know, who amongst us doesn't own multiple properties that's valued over $5 million in the state of Florida?
Population.
18 states, we were number 10.3%.
And this number here, 13.3%. Now, every Californian
Which
also...
we've had for a decade.
Okay,
for a decade.
but right, and you supported it for a decade.
The public actually initiated
Okay.
it. It was supported by the public.
But the point is, Florida has 0. The net population growth, hang on, for Florida
That's for
is
the
almost
1%.
Is almost 1,000 new
Sean,
people.
Gavin should be like, yeah, it's great, man. Get excited for showers, okay? Because, you know, unless you fucking grow gills, okay, you're gonna not be living in an environment that is habitable for you, okay? Have fun. Have fun in the state of Florida. It's underwater, okay? It's underwater. Like half the year, it's underwater. Have fun with that. Fuck.
A day, and you're losing 800 people a day.
Wait,
here's my question. Is this connected to that?
No, I respect your audience too.
Homeowners insurance market much worse in California for the past 5 years than Florida, hands down. Wait, what? It's like an apocalypse in California. Even household name companies like State Farm and Allstate fleeing the state. Homeowners insurance market is not much worse in California for the past 5 years than Florida. What are you talking about? Homeowners insurance doesn't exist in Florida now. Yes, the fires have definitely created a problem for homeowners insurance in the state of California as well, which, by the way, ironic because, again, it's literally the same fucking problem. Wildfire season is now longer and more vicious in the state of California, and tornadoes, hurricanes are worse, and flooding is worse in the state of Florida for the exact same problem. For the exact same reason. Orange Man is live already. Landslide and wildfire, definitely the largest factors. Yeah. But you literally cannot compare that to Florida. It's bad. It's bad in California. It's bad everywhere. Okay? But you can't say it's worse. You can't say it's worse than Florida. But again, ironic because, like, the one area where you can't lie is fucking derivatives. It's the quants that are like calculating. It's actuarial sciences. Okay, that's the one area where you can't fucking lie. Insurance. So we can fucking go back and forth about how it's bullshit and how climate change is not real. I'm not saying you're saying that, by the way. I'm saying Republicans say that all the time. But you know where it's very real? Insurance. That's it. All right, we'll go to Donald Trump right now. Where's my big orange man? Does anyone have a link for it? But yeah, companies are pulling out of everywhere.